Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the program today, the third announced Republican candidate for Jim Gibbons' congressional seat. Paul Enos has the rundown.
Assemblywoman Sharron is collecting signatures for property tax relief and running for Congress. We're going to talk to this anti-establishment candidate. Sam?
And on the Power Pundit panel today, Marlene, Lockard, Jason Geddes, Michael Hackett, and George Harris. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
In part by the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
Welcome to the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks. We're proud that Walmart and other Fortune 500 companies have chosen Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center to relocate their businesses. We have sites from under 5 acres to well over 500 acres, and with all of the amenities that every successful corporation requires. Welcome to the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, and we're building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
You bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And we welcome to the program Assemblywoman Sharron, who's running for Jim Gibbons' congressional seat. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Assemblywoman you're kind of seen as the anti-establishment candidate. You're running against a sitting Secretary of State. You're running against the wife of a congressman. Have you had a challenge raising money or getting any traction in your campaign?
Well, not really. You know, I get a lot of donations from Nevadans, but my average donation is about $96.80, and it is well below what the reporting is for FEC, so you won't see all of those Nevadans. But also, I'm just known nationally as the leading fiscal conservative in Nevada, and so a lot of people from out of state have been donating to my campaign, so I think that I'm going to be able to compete financially.
Would it be appropriate to say that you've gotten the bulk of your money so far from out of state, and will that be used as a club against you?
Well, as I said, I'm not sure that that's exactly the way it is. I do get a lot of Nevada donations, but yeah, I think that that's a fair assessment that all of the candidates in this race are going to get outside money.
Club for Growth has endorsed you. You're actually the first candidate. This is a national organization who supports fiscally conservative Republicans. And you were the first candidate they endorsed this year. Can you tell us a little bit about the Club for Growth and what that endorsement means to your campaign?
Well, I think you said it all. They're fiscal conservatives. They saw me as the fiscal conservative in this race, and that's why they've thrown their backing behind me. They agree with my views. And, you know, all the people that support you don't necessarily agree with them, but they agree with me, and that's why they're supporting me.
And they've assisted you in raising, I think at the time, at the last report, it was almost $160,000 in only a few weeks?
That's right.
All All right, let's talk about one of the things that is a big piece of what you're running on, which is reviving your Proposition 13 type initiative. There's a lot of concern in the state. Barbara Buckley was quoted in the Reno Gazette-Journal as saying, "I believe it will deprive schools of desperately needed funds, with the primary beneficiary being out-of-state land speculators." Is she right about that? And can you explain what this Proposition Type 13 piece of legislation would actually do?
Well, in a nutshell, our Angle Property Tax Restraint Initiative has the three things. It has the base rate on your taxable value at 2004 values at 1%. Can't go up any more than 2% per year. And the valuation on your home does not change until you sell the home. Everything from Ronald Reagan winning the White House to O.J. Simpson's acquittal has been blamed on Prop 13 in California. So I would just say we'll have to wait and see. I think that we're going to find that this is revenue neutral, and really all that it really provides is stable and predictable tax base for our property owners in Nevada.
A lot of people, especially in the rural communities, are saying that this initiative will harm the ability for them to fund their government. How do you respond to that?
Well, I'll just point you to the Ely Daily Times today. Front page said that their revenues in White Pine County are up 59% on taxes. So I just rest my case. I don't think that we're going to harm anyone with this. We're just going to help Nevada taxpayers keep stable and predictable property taxes.
What do you think about the Taxpayer Bill of Rights? I mean,
I think it's an excellent thing. It's part of our trilogy. I'm calling it our trilogy of property tax protection or property owner protection. The Taxpayer Bill of Rights, or tax and spend control for Nevada, actually puts spending limitations on government, which is the other side of the tax restraint coin. If you don't have it, what you're going to have is increases in other taxes and fees. The third part of this trilogy is the eminent domain that we're going to be bringing out probably tomorrow or next week. And what that does is it says that the activist judiciary cannot do what they've done in New England and say that your private property is worth more to the public in another private owner's hands because of the tax revenue. So we're just going to stop eminent domain abuses in Nevada. And so that's the three-pronged approach that we're using.
Okay, but people still say that the school system, for example, in California is still suffering from the effects of Proposition 13.
Well, what you have to look at is how much they're paying their teachers. They're paying their teachers more than we're paying them here in Nevada. You also have to look at where Nevada is on the scale. We're well below California even on the NAEP tests. So, you know, I don't see how our education system could get any worse. We really need to look at systemic changes for education. It's not just throwing money.
But we're bringing in teachers from the Philippines to be able to help out in southern Nevada at this point. And shouldn't we be looking at perhaps paying teachers a higher salary?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sharron, let's get back to your campaign for a minute. In the past, you have not taken any money from casinos, unions, or PACs. In a federal race, I guess that has to be a little different because you can't raise money from corporations or associations. So you have to turn to the PACs. Has that been difficult?
No, it hasn't been difficult because the reason I took that stand is because of the cynicism of the voter in my district. They have felt that the legislature was controlled by special interests, and I said, you know, I want to show you my good faith effort, and I won't take the money from special interests so that you can trust me. They do trust me. They see my voting record. They know that I vote for them. And now I need to take the PAC money because it's a federal race. As you said, we're in a different ballgame altogether, and so I will be taking PAC money from those PACs that agree with my point of view.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back on Nevada News Mix. Hold it right there. We'll be right back.
For a videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program, call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
Since its creation more than a decade ago, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has focused on three goals: preserving water quality, improving water conservation in Southern Nevada, and meeting the community's current and future water needs. Through thoughtful planning, responsible management, and collaboration, it's succeeding. As we move into the 21st century, the authority continues to embrace sustainable water development and efficient water use. That's our promise to Nevada.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open. For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof.
Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%, lobby for your interests, and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Happy hour at the Pepper Mill.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org. The National Mining Association.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we're talking with Sharron Engel. She's running for Congress for Jim Gibbons' seat that will become available in the next election cycle.
I just want to finish the last question. I tried to get in there the last few seconds of the break, before the break. Will you take PAC money from casinos or unions?
Yes.
Why the change of heart?
Pardon me? Well, because it's a change of race. You know, before I could run an Assembly district race on $40,000 and a lot of shoe leather. It's going to take a lot of media this time and just more money. And, you know, frankly, I just have to get my message out. And I said those people who agree with my point of view, I will take their money.
So you consider the unions looking for a fiscally conservative candidate?
I doubt that they will.
So that's kind of surprising. So why would they be supporting you?
I doubt that they will.
Well, so bottom line is, if they offer it, you'll take it. But at this point, the phone hasn't run.
That's
you know,
right.
You have a website. They can go to the website and register if they want to. Okay.
Do you think that'll help? You talked about the cynicism with the voters in your district. Do you think that change of heart with those interest groups might foster some of that cynicism if they elect you to Congress?
I don't think so. My voting record stands. I've stood against all odds here. You know, I have a 41-to-1 vote in many instances. I'm tough when it comes to voting. They know that. They're very secure, I think, with the way I stand for them. And I think these initiatives even prove that more, that I'm looking out for their best interests.
Okay, you know, I would certainly consider you an ethical person, but in 2003, there was a bill that made various changes to the state ethics reporting laws. It passed the Senate 21-0, and it passed the Assembly, as you put it, 41-1. Why did you vote against it?
Because there were no accountabilities on that ethics thing. It was a very wide-open restriction. It was 3 strikes and you're out. And it didn't have a time frame, so in the 20 years of your tenure, if you made 3 personal phone calls home, technically 3 strikes, you're out. I said, there has to be some sideboards on here, some time limitation or some degree. It can't, is it more than a personal phone call home on the public phone? Is it more than an email that responds to a private message on your computer? What is it that constitutes the 3 strikes? And actually our impeachment process works. It worked with Controller Augustine. It gave her a fair trial in the Senate. We said, yes, there was something here that needed to be investigated as an impeachable offense. It needs to go for a trial. I think the process works the way it is, and that's why I voted no.
It was kind of funny, though, that she pled guilty and paid the fines and then ended up not being impeached. I just found that a little interesting.
Talking about your vote record, Sharron, some people will say that in the legislature that you're difficult to work with and that you're ineffective, that you don't get any of your bills passed. What do you say to those?
Well, let's look at who the some people are. They're usually politicians and lobbyists, and of course, I don't vote for special interests. I vote for my constituency. They're very happy with my votes. And I'll tell you, those no votes are the things that have gotten us some of the relief that we have now. When I brought my Proposition 13, that was what put the pressure on the legislature to give us the albeit unconstitutional relief we have, but the relief that we have in property taxes. It's my no votes that actually calmed that situation down. And, I was the only no vote on the tax increase that the governor vetoed. So I think my no votes are very effective, but I have had some effective legislation as well. My Nevada Reading Excellence Act that brought phonics into reading, and also my human trafficking bill this time, I think, are very effective pieces of legislation.
Okay. Sharon Angle gets elected to Congress, or well, let's just pretend we're down the road now. You're elected to Congress. How are you going to be more effective in Congress than you would be in the Nevada legislature?
Well, there's more just like me. That's what I want to do, is go and join those other conservative legislatures later there who are actually gaining momentum as the majority of the majority. I want to do 4 things when I get back there. I want to take my tax and spend policy there. I want to say no more taxes, limited taxes, less government regulation. I want to see us repeal the death tax. I want to keep the cap on the capital gains tax. I want to see the alternative minimum tax eliminated.
Okay, on the death tax. This is at a time when we have a war going on in Iraq, and we have the effects of Hurricane Katrina, and we certainly have plenty of problems in this country that we're going to be facing. That is a tax that basically affects the super rich. It really does not come down. It really does not come down.
I hate to, but absolutely not, Sam. That's complete garbage. There are everyday people who have businesses who are affected by the death tax.
But you could put a much lower cap on that than helping the super rich.
Well, let's let the candidate answer the question.
I just think that whenever we've seen tax breaks for the entire population of Nevada, our economy is stimulated. I mean, not just Nevada, but the United States. Our economy is stimulated, and we have more revenues to spend on things like Iraq.
Well, but one of the problems is though that the spending is out of control. I mean, as a fiscal conservative, and I agree with you as a fiscal conservative, that the way that we're spending money right now is like a drunken sailor, and it needs to stop.
Well, and that's why I have co-sponsored the tax and spend controls for Nevada, and I want to take that same policy of limited spending for government to Washington, D.C. The next thing I want to tackle is the immigration reform. We need to do something about securing our borders, not just the southern border, but our Canadian border. You know, it's twice as long and has 10% of the personnel along the Canadian border, so we need to secure the borders.
Maybe we could support President Bush's guest worker program. Wouldn't that be a good thing? Make it easier for people to come in, because obviously they need to come in for the jobs.
The visa system that needs to be looked at. The visa system does need to be looked at, but we also need to enforce the laws that we already have in place. So those guys
darn
that are law
impossible.
Well,
darn near impossible.
But we have a 1996 law in place that says that local law enforcement can cooperate when they pick up on just
they don't have any place to put them.
Traffic.
They don't have any place to put them, and if they're not from Mexico, then they give them a ticket and ask them to appear in court, and 85% don't show up.
You know, I was in Arizona
for another day. For another day. We'll welcome you back.
My other things are the energy
we'll
policy.
Welcome you back.
And
we're
also
out of time. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Corporations moving to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center require reliable power, fiber optic communication, and clean water sources. And yet, there's another amenity we're very proud of here at TRI, rail service. So far, we've built over 2 miles of railroad track, and another 3.6 is under construction. When companies need to transport freight, we're going to help them move it quickly and efficiently. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
The Nevada Beer Wholesalers encourages the responsible consumption of beer. The Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association are sponsors and participants in many community-based efforts such as school education programs, Safe Ride Home, recycling programs, alcohol-free after-prom and graduation parties, safe boating campaigns, and designated driver programs. They are family-owned businesses employing 2,000 Nevadans. They also collect and pay the state excise tax. The Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association, delivering more than just beer.
Dave, I'm telling you, it's all in the follow-through.
Actually, Dave, it's all in the putting.
No matter how you swing, it's a classic opportunity to play for local organizations.
That's why we're teeing off in the Kest Classic at Wolf Run on September 15th. March tournament will benefit Care Chest of Sierra Nevada, providing free medical supplies to those in need, and help our local Seroptimists support the community.
Hey, Dave, you've got the perfect score.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
Well, Sam Shad's not on the pundit panel, so it's me. We have Marlene Lockard, Capital Strategies, Mike Hackett, Alrus Consulting, Jason Geddes, former Assemblyman, and George Harris, Liberty Watch Magazine. Marlene, you just watched Sharron Angle's interview. Can you give us your thoughts on a Congresswoman Angle?
Well, I think that this race is going to be very, very interesting because you have 3 people in the Republican primary and now just announced candidate Jill Derby. To give a little bit of balance, there's a candidate on the other side. Either way, out of the Republican primary, I think you're going to have a conservative Republican go to D.C., whoever emerges from that primary campaign.
And who is the conservative Republican in that race?
Well, I don't know. They have a litmus test. We should all give them who can block taxes more than the next guy, I guess.
Hey, that works for me. Jason?
What?
Congresswoman
Angle. Good to have Jason on the panel. I think it's going to be it's going to be a horse race right to the end. I mean, I would have to put Heller as the front runner since he's run 2 statewide races. So he's out there.
3 races.
3? That's right. Gibbons, just by name confusion. Name recognition, but Don and Sharon.
That's where you'll get a phone call for that race.
But Don and Sharon have both proved to be outstanding campaigners. They work hard. They work to the finish line. It's going to be a tight 3-way race, I think.
Mike, who's the conservative? Hold on there, Newt. Who's the conservative candidate in that race?
I think obviously Sharon's a conservative candidate in that. I don't think you're ever going to confuse Dawn Gibbons with being a total conservative. She's much more moderate. I really can't comment on the Secretary of State. I really don't know politically where his leanings are, if he's more middle of the fence or if he really does tend to go to the right. But
Mike, do you think it hurts? Do you think it hurts the Secretary of State in a Republican primary that he's been endorsed by Governor Gwynn?
Not yet. No, actually, I don't think it does.
George?
I actually, in bizarre fashion, I agree with Mike. No one knows where Dean Heller is. Dean Heller certainly isn't the front runner in the race.
Well, he's raised the most money. You take a look at
because you raise the most money doesn't mean you're going to win the race.
But 3 statewide races. I mean, he's campaigned it. He's got to be the front runner.
And Dean's got a lot of stuff to answer for as Secretary of State. A lot of bungling has been taking place in that office. And there's going to be a lot of problems. Sharon is the conservative. Sharon's got the property tax.
Wait a minute, George. To say a lot lot of bungling has taken place in that office.
Listen,
Marlene's protecting a Republican. Let's let her go for a second.
That's the only way I'm going to get to talk on this show. But I think when you look at what Dean Heller has done in that office and streamlined many different aspects, added technology to the office, and returned money to pay for the technology improvements in that office.
I say right now, if we got a minute, why don't we just get a speakerphone and call the Secretary of State's office and try to talk to a human within a 30-minute period, because it's not going to happen. Because the office is an absolute, it's in a debacle shambles. You can call that office anytime. I challenge each of you when you get done to pick up the phone and call that office and try to get through to a human.
I would disagree. Businesses are coming to the state. Businesses are coming to the state.
They're coming to the state because private industry.
That's right.
Private industry is the one going over and dealing with the Secretary of State's office.
That's right.
If an individual wants to try to get hold of this, a regular layman who doesn't understand the process to try to go file their paperwork, they might jump off a building. But let's talk about.
Well, wait, hold on here. Hold on. Whoa. Let's just hold on. I don't want to get too off.
I can't even make a point. My goodness.
Marlene, you talked about Jill Derby getting into the race as kind of being a balancing effect. Do you think that there is any possible chance a D has of winning a very Republican seat in northern Nevada?
Well, I think if this continues and all the Republicans kill each other in the primary, that Jill has a very good chance. It is a very uphill battle for a Democrat in that race. But she is a respected member of the Board of Regents.
The Board of Regents is in a very respected body.
She is a respected member. However, the Board of Regents have had their issues and their problems, but Jill Derby is an outstanding candidate.
Being a respected member of the Board of Regents is kind of like being a madam in a whorehouse.
The Republican primary is a race, but can we talk about, Tabor and property tax and important issues that face families in this state?
Why don't we talk about that, George? Why don't we talk about governing by initiative petition? And you see all these
Marlene,
candidates.
that's what the Constitution allows.
Yeah, every race, every election, and now we're adding eminent domain.
But why do you
the
think
last
that happens?
legislative session already addressed eminent domain.
Why do you
so
think
now
that
you've
happened?
got all these candidates who have made a career out of being elected on initiative petitions.
Why do you think
and now
it
that's
has
exactly
happened?
what's happening.
Why do you think these initiatives,
candidates.
Why do you think these initiatives gain so much traction? Because the people.
I'm going to let you ask. Wait, George, let Mike talk.
Why do these initiatives have so much traction? Because they had very populist themes. It's really in the general message that's sent out. It's not in the details of what the long-term and even the short-term ramifications of these are. I think you saw that with the minimum wage
nobody
petition.
reads the fine print.
And how about the fact that the people are frustrated because the legislature is afraid to do their job? That when you bring up to the problem, hey, listen, we have a massive
hold
problem.
legislators accountable because that is their job. This is a republic.
Jason, as a former legislator, the only one who's been elected to respond to that.
They passed the 3%, 8% cap. I agree it is unconstitutional, but they passed it. It was an issue. They addressed it, and they passed it.
Why did they pass it, though? Listen, you
because
guys can
of the public pressure and the public
because of Sharron Angle and other groups saying you've got to get.
They passed it because everybody was getting their property tax bill.
Thank you very much.
And they all showed up at the legislature.
I appreciate everybody being on the panel. Thank you guys very much. We'll be back.
Who wants to just take from
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
South Reno's hotspot for food, fun, and friends is the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy great food 24 hours a day in the Dining Car Restaurant. For a quick bite and the best sandwiches in town, it's the Whistle Stop Deli. And for the best appetizers and menu selections and a large variety of cocktails, beers, and martinis, it's Sully's Sports Bar, Grill, and Nightclub. The Tamarack Junction is your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
Island Inkjet is now open on South Meadows Parkway. Island Inkjet will refill your inkjet cartridges in just 1 hour. We have the ink to precisely match over 240 cartridges, saving you up to 60% on the cost of buying a new cartridge. Our work is 100% guaranteed, and contrary to what you may have heard, refills do not void any printer warranties. You don't throw out your car when it runs out of gas. Don't throw out your cartridges. Refill them at Island Inkjet on South Meadows Parkway by Smith's.
Among the guests next week, Barbara Buckley and Walt Higgins. We'll see you next week on Nevada Newsmakers.